October GTA real estate data, is it actually looking better? Hi, Ryan here. Today, let's take a deep dive into October GTA real estate data. Let's take a look on the screen. So overall, sales number has increased from September to October. 6138 transactions happened, and last month in September was 5592. Okay, so the first piece of good news is that there are a bit of more buyers comparing to September. However, if you're comparing to last year, you can see last year September and October had a much bigger jump. This year, even though October did have a little bit more transaction in September, but it's actually below last October in terms of sales, which is understandable. Last October, we had no tariff issue. We have jumbo cuts. We had 0.5% and 0.5% rate cuts. This year, we had 0.25, 0.25, and then stopped. And Bank of Canada is saying, okay, no more rate cuts. So our October less than last year is understandable. We'll take a look at which cities are actually increasing in their transactions to get to know this increase better. Not every city is doing this, okay? But you can see that for the last 4 or 5 years, we're actually doing better than last year. This is the first month we're doing worse than last year. And in terms of new sellers, new listing, we have a little bit higher than last year. So October, we had 16,000 new listings. And last year we had 15,300. Okay, it's a little bit less than September, which we know September, the first Labor Day weekend, there's a lot of new listings came to market in September. October, it took a little bit of a dive, right? So it's good. There's less competition between new sellers, which results in a slightly improved active listing from 29,000 to 27,808 active listings, right? Which is still a lot higher than last year's 24,000, but the gap looks like it's shrinking. So that's a good news. And the average price is still going further and further away from last year, right? You can see that in the beginning of the year, at least we're still a little bit closer. Now the gap is widening, right? So our price is down. That's no surprise. And we know that ever since May, the price drop has been more substantial. And we saw that on an earlier video regarding the HPI as well, right? The home price index for Toronto, which also shows the similar result. If you forgot about that video, let's do a refresher here. You can see this is a Greater Toronto. And remember how we talked about it dropped below this support line over the past 4 years. It's never been below this 1.23 million. And the most recent half a year, it dropped below, right? So that's all showing that Toronto, the price has been coming down. And that means this little bit of increase in sales is really, there's more sellers willing to compromise, okay? They're just letting their properties selling for cheaper than before to just get rid of the listing. There's a lot of some sellers actually in October decided to take the listing off the market. So it's a combination of both. Sellers willing to sell cheap and sellers have given up. You know what? I don't want to sell my property anymore, right? So it's a combination of the two reasons brought the active listing a little bit lower. But price is still going down pretty fast. And if you look at the other metrics, like for example, sales to new listing ratio, you can see that it's actually still in line with August and July level, a little bit better than September because of the less new listings, a little bit more sales, right? And months of inventory has finally kind of dipped down a bit because there's less active listings. So these are good. But the sold to listing price ratio, this is how much under asking we're selling at. You can see even last year, 2024, during the spring market, we're still selling over asking at 1.02, 2% over asking right now. So bidding war doesn't work. So we're selling on average 2.3%, 97.7%, basically below asking price. And this ratio has been going down and down every year. So that means there's less and less successful bidding war and more just like buyer negotiating a bigger discount from the listing price. So that shows you that, hey, even though there's a little bit less active listings, price is still going down. Okay, so there's two metrics both showing prices are coming down. And if we take a look at between the condo market and the detached market, we can see that from a sales perspective, detached market, it's still on the higher end than condo market, right? So out of the 6,100 transactions, about 3,000 is detached, about half of that is condo. So condo is only about half of the detached sales volume, which shows that people are still buying detached. But also, you have to take a look at new listings. You can see that detached actually have a bigger increase, okay, compared to last year in terms of new listings. So there's actually more sellers of detached homes wants to put their homes on the market. And that's why there's more competition even between sellers in the detached market, and we feel that detached market is actually in some ways slower than the condo market because condo has been slow for a long time. So there are buyers actually going back to the condo market to pick up some deals, especially in downtown where people are returning to work. But detached market, there's actually more competition between sellers. And therefore, you can see that even though the overall active listing has come down a little bit from September, but you can see on the bigger trend, detached market on the top is increasing in active listing much faster than condos. Condos, you can see it's not that much different from last year. Detached, a whole different level. Last year we had 10,000, now we have 13,000 active listings, right? So detached is the problem. Like right now in this market, and you can see in terms of average price, you can see that detached market is dropping faster. Like last year, in like say October 24, like we're around 1.4 level, right? Even earlier this year, we're at 1.4, 1.45. Last year, spring, we're at 1.5. Now our average price is 1.3, 1.36. Like it's down, right? Even like 100K from earlier this year. But condos has been pretty consistent. We're at 660,000. It was 680, 690. It has been like around this level for a long time. Even though it's still going down, but the speed of going down, detached is actually going down quicker. And in terms of the sold to listing price ratio, we can see that detached market, interestingly, they're the ones that always had better kind of bidding war success than condos. Even earlier 2025, you can see detached were still selling very close to asking price. That means a lot of them sold above asking price. Some below, so average is at asking price. Last year, there was a lot more selling over asking price than selling below asking price. That's why it's average 1.02. But right now, you can see that detached homes are actually about the same as condos in terms of sold price to asking price ratio. So that shows it's a problem. We're actually detached market. It's feeling a lot more like the condo market now, where the listing is just hanging there and waiting for buyers to negotiate instead of multiple offers, bidding it up and get a successful sale. So this is, I think, a good indication to show you the temperature for detached market has really came down. Okay, and we can see that from the sales to new listing ratio, detached market used to be a lot stronger than condos. Okay, it used to be always above condos. The market sales to new listing comparison is actually a lot closer now to condos. Again, showing that real estate detached market used to be better than condo, but now it's getting very similar to condo market. So those are just a few indications to show you how the overall market is trending, including the month of inventory. You can see the condo, it still takes longer to sell on average, but the gap between condos and detached at the bottom is actually narrowing down, right? So, the two markets are converging into a more similar slow real estate market between condos and detached. So this is just what I want to show you in this first video. It's just to take a look at the grand scheme of the data. And next video, we're going to dive down into the more specific neighborhoods and regions to see what's going on between the condos and detached market, which areas are doing better than others. Okay, stay tuned, subscribe. Until next time, ciao.